mercy.
Yeah.
No mercy.
Yeah, in this music industry, I gotta hit hard. In this rap game, I gotta go spit bars. Man, I'm sick and tired of listening when it comes to Josie hip-hop. You lean or you smoke weed, man, you need scars. Niggas screaming for my name when I spit hard. Knowing I'ma touch the kids, I'm a rap god. Fuck a white though hip-hop, nigga. I just woke up in the morning knowing that I gotta go and open the charts. I'm the chosen one, I guess I gotta leave a mark. Seduce bitches, them niggas masturbate in the dark.
How many setups offered 5 points with something just like this at these key times of the day? And then do the math. If you could just do 1/2 of that, or just 1/4 of that with one mini, it's real easy to see how it's just a matter of time before that thing you call a job no longer is a hindrance to you, because it is a hindrance to you. Where you have your faith chained to their boss's generosity. They're so generous that they make you work those 40 hours, sometimes more, to get that paycheck. That Uncle Sam gets the tax before you touch it. And then you come out and find out that everything's much more expensive today. When you have this skill set, folks, I want you to understand what I'm about to say, and I'm going to close this video. When you learn this skill set, it removes fear. It removes fear of missing out. It removes the fear and anxiety of failing, but it also removes the fear of inflation, because this skill set will always outpace inflation. I don't care if gas is $20 a gallon. I'm going to drive my Corvettes. I have 8-cylinder Corvettes that I absolutely will not leave parked. I will drive them and I will enjoy them. I don't care. Gas can be whatever it wants to be. It's a write-off for me. Okay? I don't care how much food is going to cost. I hope I can continuously find it, but I'm not worried about what my utility bills are going to cost. I don't worry about what things are going to cost. That skill set that you're learning here, it aids in that. It helps in that. Notice I'm not promising you get rich. Notice I haven't said that, because I don't want you coming to my channel thinking I'm promising you to get rich. But I am promising you a skill set that offers the opportunity to do limitless feats and wonders. And it's only limited by your imagination. How much work are you going to put into it? How much work have you put into it? Who are you allowing to influence you and discourage you, distract you? Are you seeing results? Am I proving this stuff works? Do you feel scammed? Or do you feel energized and thankful that you're part of a community like we have here that's thriving, it's energetic, they're happy, they're uplifted, they encourage one another, and everyone here knows that they're not being taken for a ride. There's no upsell coming. Doesn't that feel good? It frees you up to just concentrate on learning. There's no angle. There's no sales pitch coming. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that cool? That's like the point is you're in a community that we're all trying to help one another. And all I'm trying to be is the captain of the team and just lead you in the right direction and hopefully avoid the pain and struggles that I went through. Real accounts, real money, real buttons are being pushed. You are going to find that there is a lot of opportunity that you're going to let slip by and not be upset about it. It's going to be one of the most fun experience that you're going to have as a developing and developed student of price action under me. Is you'll see so many setups, you're like, I could do this trigger now, but I'm not going to. and then walk away from it after it comes to fruition, thinking, I could have done that. And I had the discipline to say no, because I'm not being influenced by fear or greed. And when you're at that level and you're consistent, you have graduated. You are an independent thinker. You have mastered fear and greed. You have operated with a level of discipline that is unknown to majority of traders on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, wherever. That day's coming for you. But you got to go through this stuff here to get to it. It's not hiding from you. I'm not making it hard for you. I've literally taught you everything except for money management, which we'll talk about next week. And then you have the complete understanding of what it is you're doing here. And you're just going to do the same thing every day. Some days you'll get it right. Some days you won't. When you get it wrong, you stop. You don't rush to get it back. And you're going to find the next day, sometimes, there it is. What you took as a loss the previous day comes back sometimes with interest. And that's a good feeling when it happens. It's like, well, I don't need to worry about it. Losing trades is like getting a flat tire. It sucks. It costs you a little bit of money and time, delays you from what you're trying to get to and accomplish. But it's just a speed bump. It costs you a little bit of time and money, but it didn't keep you from getting where you're going. It just created a detour, a delay.
I developed a very strong work ethic. I never missed a day of work, and I wanted to focus on getting out of the rat race. At 20 years old, I was thinking to myself that I wanted to be retired at the age of 40. And to my family, that sounded ludicrous. It was unachievable. You couldn't get it. You couldn't obtain that. So submit to the working grind like everyone else does. And that created a sense of anxiety in me to the degree where I was not going to relent until I got myself to the position where I wasn't going to have to work for money. Because I felt working for money was a stupid waste of my time, it was a waste of my energy, and there was a lot better things to be doing than to go to work for someone else. They're never going to appreciate you, not to the degree they should, or that you would want them to. So basically, to have a job or go out into the workforce is rather stupid. So now I know some people are going to scoff at that and say, well, everyone needs to work, they have to have a job, they have to the ends meet, if you will. And I agree. But that's not a destination. Now, unfortunately, most people create that as their final destination because of procrastination, fear of failure, failure to observe the realities of having the resources, whether you accept the fact that you do or don't. Everyone has the resources. There's absolutely zero excuses why within 10 years anyone can retire. Now, I'm not saying that you are going to retire a multi-millionaire, but you could certainly find a way to replace your current income. Now, if you could do that, think about it. Isn't that really the definition of being rich? Now, I'm not saying super wealthy in elite status, but to be rich is you're not working for money anymore. So if you find a way to replace your current income, even if it never goes up, if you just made ends meet, that's rich. Now, some of you would disagree with that because your definition of rich or wealthy or affluent is going to vary from mine. But I'm telling you from a storyline, this is how I came up from this. I came from a very, very modest upbringing, very modest start. So it was a 20-year plan for me. Now, for most of you, you won't subscribe to that. 20 years is too long. Sorry, let me go to the next video. Let me go to another YouTube mentor. Let me see who's selling the system. Okay, give me a process of, give me in 1, 2, 3, give me the profits and watch, rinse, repeat. I never really subscribed to that very long, initially because everyone's baptized in the same way with trading its indicators and buy and sell and this, that, and other thing. But I found quickly that that wasn't the way to do it. And because I'm a very analytical person. I have a very technical approach to things. I'm methodical in a lot of ways, and I've always been that way. So if someone speaks to me, I'm always analyzing what's their alternative motive. What's their ulterior motive? And maybe there isn't one, but I'm always thinking that, and I'm always trying to decipher, get to the root cause of problems, because that's where the solution resides. In the American society, we're trained to accept the problem and just grind through it. I don't subscribe to that view. I subscribe to the fact that there is an alternative solution to our present condition that is working too much for too little. So I had to submit to a long-term process, because I had readily admitted that my aptitude for it was probably going to be insufficient. So therefore, I allowed myself up to the age of 40 years old before I would really consider myself proficient, success, whatever. Okay, so I was already building in a far and wide definition of success, and I gave it a long-term deadline. Now, if you're living with your folks, or if you're living with family members, or if you're living with a person that you don't really want to be with, but because of necessity you have to be there, that is many times a very toxic environment. And when I began trading, I kept it quiet. I didn't tell anybody what I was doing, because I already knew what the answer was going to be.
And the only thing I've done for the first 6 months of this year was what I promised I was going to do. I was going to teach you exactly how to go in and find these setups and prove to you that they're consistent, and prove that you can make real money, not just demo dollars. You can make real money doing it. Not all of you are going to make money every single day. You're going to lose. And guess what? I've proven that losing doesn't really change anything. But if your mindset is not accurate, or not accurate, but right, losing can derail you. And that's why I talk to you like this. That's why I give you these motivational speaks and sessions, and kind of like an attaboy, attagirl, that type of thing that, prod you along. Because it's easy to be influenced by short-term adversities, because your friends and your family and your work, and where you pimp your life out for a small amount of money, you spend more time there than you spend with me. So that negative cloud that's always over top of you, the people that are around you, that you hopefully look at them as a support structure, your friends and family, none of them are going to tell you what you want them to say. They're not going to say, you know what, Brian? You fucking deserve this. You deserve this. You've worked your ass off. You've done everything right. If there's anybody out there that deserves this, you do. And damn it, get out there and take it. Nobody's going to do that for you. Your spouse ain't going to do it. So let me remind you for the last time, stop looking to be validated outside of yourself, because they're never going to do it. You need to be your own cheerleader. You are the person that drags your ass out of bed and says it's time to go to work. Period. You do that. Well, guess what? You got to use that same moxie to get your ass out of whatever you're doing when you're not at work, and you have to study. You have to study. You got to pour into this everything. Do it for a year. It's 1 year, folks. 1 year. Why a year? Because you're going to see all the seasonal influences that take place over the full calendar year. That's experience. That's a perspective that you cannot appreciate until you see it. Then you have that going into the next year. And if you journaled, you compare and contrast. When you start a new month, okay, what did I experience last September? What did I experience last October? And what was it like the last 3 weeks of December? And what was it like in January? You're going to have something as a baseline, and you do that every single year. But I'm going to tell you something, folks. Once you have consistency, Let me tell you something, what's never going to happen. You're never going to want to talk about what you're doing to your friends and family anymore. You're not going to want to do that because you're going to know right away, these people work. And there's nothing wrong with working, folks. But working folks don't like to see other people get out of that livestock pen. They don't want to be championing somebody else, because that would be like taking energy and directing it towards someone else to do well instead of directing it to themselves and for them to do well. So why are you surprised? They're indoctrinated. You're not going to wake them up. You're not going to stir them up by you telling them that you're going to work soft and you're going to learn how to do this and you're going to speculate way more income, way more potential than any other job that you would ever fall into or get degrees with. It ain't never going to be compared. It isn't going to be in the same vicinity, the neighborhood, the zip code. You're not going to get anywhere close to the fucking money that you could make doing this. If that bothers you because I'm using this language, I don't give a shit. Because I'm tired of people tiptoeing and dancing around, boo-hooing that they don't have this figured out yet. What's stopping you? You have it now. It's done. It's on those videos. Study it. You got to work for it. It doesn't mean I watch the videos, therefore I should know. No, you watch the videos and I tell you what you should be looking for. Then you have to do the work. You have to do that. If you fail, I did not fail you. You failed you. Own it, man. Own it. What I've been doing my entire life. And they're like, how's that possible? Well, first of all, you got to understand that school is the indoctrination centers that make you stupid. All of us start out stupid. There isn't anybody that comes into this world and grows up as a child and is not falling out of the dumb tree and hitting every stupid branch. All of us are scarred with it. But the smart individuals, the ones that are thinking outside the box, they get a taste of that bullshit and they think, you know, this is better. It has to exist because I can't keep doing this. I got a wife, I have a husband, I have children, I have, you know, my weekend warrior friends that I hang out with. But is this it? This is it? This is the American dream? I'm tied to a 30-year mortgage. I'm paying out my ass. And then the government tells me I better pay more rent and property taxes each year, or they take the thing that I own away. And I got to go back to that same place that I can't stand to work around the same people because they're in the same situation I'm in. They're miserable. You're forced to be among other livestock. And you're wondering why the place stinks like shit. You got to change your setting. You got to do that. Your employer ain't going to be like, you know what? You've been doing such an exceptional job. You deserve a new lifestyle. Let me make that happen for you. Don't report to work anymore. Stay home. I'm going to send you checks for nothing because you deserved it. You did very, very well. You were outperforming your quota for the last 6 months. And instead of employee of the year, you get a new lifestyle. Wouldn't that be great if it did that? Like that's what you all worked for. That type of thing. That's the kind of pension plan that would really get people wanting to work. But obviously, that's fiction. It's never going to happen. But you're either going to eat crap and deal with that the rest of your life until you can't do it anymore. That means get old, body breaks down, and live a miserable golden age of your life because you didn't do anything. See, you are watching me do it and others do it. And you may be thinking, I got time until something in my personal life, happens, and then I'll be more focused to do it. No, you need to focus right now. It's knocking. You gonna answer the door? Because if you don't do it, if you don't start working towards it right now, I promise you, in the next 6 to 18 months, you're going to be so overwhelmed with uncertainty, anxiety, fear, because of all the shit that's going to be going on in every country. You're not going to be able to study. And you're going to be so panicked. You're going to be so fearful of what's going to be happening to you. Where are you going to make your ends meet? Are you going to be evicted? Are you going to lose your home? Are they going to take your car because you can't pay the note on it? You have to find a way to make income. You have to. It's crunch time, folks. It's time to get off your ass, put aside all those things you're wasting time with, and start working towards learning this skill set while you can. Get what you can. You have to get up, shake yourself, see the opportunity, and seize it. Take it by force. You cannot sit around and rest on your laurels. You sit around like a lazy ass, I promise you, you will be crying. 18 months or less. That's the timeline. That's when shit gets really hard.
I have a lot of students in third world countries that have inclined their ear, have worked very hard to learn the things that I'm teaching with a great deal more adversities than the majority of you listening. And they are finding themselves out of poverty. Can you imagine how wonderful that feels for me as a teacher, as a mentor? That moves me. That type of success, that is impactful. And that's what motivates me. Because you may be living in the lap of luxury in this country. And when I say that, not because you may have the same affluence that I have or could afford myself to have, but you have the benefits of being in this country and the freedoms that we have here and the resources that are made available to us. And you sit on your ass and you do nothing, and you make excuses why you're not doing anything with the things I'm teaching. And you want someone to come out there and just prove that I'm a scammer, a fraud. So that way it makes it easier for you to just deal with the fact that you're fucking lazy. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. You're lazy. You want this to be easy, cookie cutter approach. Same thing all the time. Turn it on, doop, money falls in your bank account. It doesn't work like that. You're gonna have to work your ass off. I don't need to do that shit. Things are about to get really hard for you, and I'm doing everything I can to have a clear conscience. I've done everything in my power to make this accessible to you. I've literally given you a model that works. It's easy to trade, period. It's already on the YouTube channel. So stop expecting something easier than that, because there isn't anything easier than that. Period. And it would beat everything else out there. I don't care who the fuck it is. I don't give a shit who they trained with, what they do, what bank they work for, all that. Pull all that shit together, find them, and let them go up against that. Talking is bullshit. Find somebody else out there that has done this and has impacted people all around the world and just did it for nothing. Because I care. And a lot of you, if you're not getting yourself prepared, you're going to be homeless. You're going to be unable to feed your family or yourself. In the normal everyday job, that's going to be almost impossible. I know it sounds like science fiction, but listen, folks, there's a reason why I came out on Baby Pips in 2010. You're now discovering it now. Look around. That's what I was growing encouraged to come out and try to help as many as I could. Think about it. How else do I know these things before they happen? Think. You know the answer. Some of you just don't want to admit it. Until next time, be safe. That's it. I promise you this. If you give this 3 months of study, serious, sleeves rolled up, diligently going in every single day, back testing and looking at it, and then for at least 2 or 3 more months of forward testing it. 6 months. 6 months with just what I've taught here. I am confident, I am absolutely confident that you will have found your model. But as real life sometimes is, it's unfair. Okay, it doesn't give us what we want. Sometimes our expectations and our wants are denied. And in today's climate, that is not popular. That's why this market and trading these markets is very, very difficult. There's an algorithm that delivers efficient market delivery. You can argue with me all you want. You're not going to convince me. I know it. If you go into price action with that market efficiency paradigm perception of looking for this characteristic in price, I promise you, you will never look at charts the same way again. It'll unlock a lot of things. Remember the movie The Matrix? And Neo finally sees the Matrix as it really is in binary code, 1s and 0s. He has clarity. Well, that same event, as silly as it may sound, ends up happening when you look at price action, when you start looking at it from this perspective. Because this mentorship is to hopefully inspire you to pick up a skill that, if you deem it useful, and you decide at your own discretion and your own timing, and you assume that risk on your own, because I'm not going to tell you to do this, if you decide to get really good at this and you put money behind it, that's a skill set that could, I'm not promising, but it could alleviate some of the problems with what I believe is coming in terms of financial hardship, not just in America, but everywhere. Jobs are getting harder and harder to have. The economy's a mess. So how do we answer that? How do we get another income stream coming in? This is, in my opinion, this is one of the ways that you can at least investigate the idea of doing it. This is what I do to engage price. This is how I call the targets. Find the logic of anything I'm showing you here and anywhere else. It doesn't exist. It does not exist, because this is self-reliant. It stands on its own. I don't need to defend it. That's why I tell everybody, go through my videos and then wrestle with it, because you're either going to walk away thinking this is too much work. Okay, great. You didn't debunk it. Or you're going to say, oh my goodness, this is exactly what's going on. Hello, conversion. There is no method that hits every single time. Okay, everything that I trade with and teach is like everything else. It's imperfect. That means there's going to be losing transactions, largely because of the operator, me or whoever else is using it, and you have to take ownership of that. Now, there are going to be days where we don't have this many retracements back and back and back, and then it goes lower. It'll be just 1 or 2, and it just keeps on going. Or many times it'll be just right at the opening, and that's it. You missed it. It just goes right to where you thought it was going to go for the day, and you can't get mad about that. You should be happy that your analysis concepts are speaking to you with that much clarity, and just know that because they repeat, none of you should be upset that you missed a trade. Like, none of you. Nobody has the permission. Okay? You have no right to be angry about missing a trade, because they are like buses. Okay? Mass transit buses that come by like a schedule. You know, every certain time of the hour or day, these buses are going to come around. These trades are just like that. You can set your clock to them. Okay? They're going to form. They're going to be there. Your number one goal is to understand, where is it likely to go to? Where is it likely to reach for? If you have that understood, it becomes so easy to know what you're looking for. Notice what I said there? It becomes easy to know what you are looking for. I did not say it's so easy for you to make money. There's a strong contrast there, okay? But by default, over time, once you have been doing the things that lead to you understanding what it is you're looking for, and that part becomes easier, what do you think the default result was going to be from that? It's probably going to be easier for you to make money over time. Okay?
Like this, I'm going big. She gave me a kiss. Mwah. Let niggas tick, I'm going big. I am a king. Yeah, nigga, I'm in. They couldn't close all the gates cause I fit. Kicking your shins. I got no time for no quit. TCC3 in the mill. Now that's the deal. I'm getting bigger and bigger. I'm